trying to get my posture up, stick my stomach in. So what do you recommend? So I come to you, I try not doing the chaturangas, and even down the dog hurts me.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Well, there's so many things that you can do. So we're going to have a class after this, and we'll talk about all the different modifications. We're going to go from the feet all the way up to the head. And I'll show you guys. We'll talk about injury for each area, and then the way you would support it. I would start by...
This is where my shoulders hurt right here.
The chaturanga area, right? Putting your hands up on blocks, putting your knees down on the floor, right? So they're changing the level of gravity through your body. You're not crashing down on your shoulders. You can start with that. I do some TheraBand work, right? Tie a TheraBand to a doorknob and pull your shoulders backwards so that you strengthen them in an open position. Because if they're closed, you're just going to keep them closed when you do your yoga postures. But if you can hold them open, then you'll have some space to do it.
So everything you take that doing yoga practice, you have to sweat and feel like you're, crazy when you're finished, but it's really not about that,
Okay, so what is that class? What is the focus of that class?
That I like or that I don't?
No, the ones that you don't like. What is the teacher actually teaching the group of people? Realistically, what do they want from their students? What are they teaching them?
Hurry.
Yeah. Like
Step.
Yeah.
Aerobics.
Aerobics.
Yeah.
So
Aerobics.
it's aerobics without a step.
They're giving them a great physical fitness, aerobic, cardiovascular workout. And there's definitely benefit to that. But to have the wherewithal to say, oh, I see, this is going to be an aerobic yoga class, whereas maybe this yoga class is going to be therapeutic, and which one should I choose? Which one's right for me?
But I feel like even the ones that I thought were not good, that you can call aerobic classes, like, they were dangerous. Like, I came out and like, I twisted my knee and stuff, and it's like, and I'd go up and say, my knee really hurts, and they had no idea what to tell me. Like, oh, I was in like, awful. But anyway, the teacher told me to do something that when I finally came to that Boston yoga, you guys told me to do totally different, and the pain went away. It was like she told me the exact wrong thing to do, and I could have like blown it with me. It was just crazy.
But that's the story of our parents.
Yeah.
Right? That's the story of our teacher. We're only going to be able to repeat what we've learned. And a 200-hour program is so small. It's so small. So my hope is that yoga teaching becomes a 1,000-hour program. Like massage, 650 hours, that's more reasonable, right? So my hope is that these basic foundational programs become larger and larger in their hours. And that we don't let that kind of thing happen. That there's more regulation and there's more understanding.
Just imagine you have to pull out the pose and it hurts. And I feel like people sign up and they don't do it, It's like...
Right. And in your classes, you'll look at them and you'll say it directly to them, and they'll still keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'll actually go up to those people and then just move it. I'm like, you're in the pose too deep.
Yeah.
Right? That's fair. That's fair because I don't want them to hurt themselves. If they go home and they decide that that's what they want to do in their living room, then okay. But I have a responsibility to really look out for these people. And in a class of 30, 40, how are you going to do it? You have to hope that you're teaching something that is both remedial enough and interesting enough to capture the whole audience without injury. It's a very tricky one.
And so I thought of all of us, of being able to bring that to students, in a personal way. And even when you talk about injury, I get a little like, really? You? But you're perfect. You're my teacher, And but it's good that I need that. I still need that flipped away, right? No, you're not. You're just my teacher, and you have everything everybody else has. You've just dealt with it well. So anyway, and Mary McManus is a super inspiring yogi, by the way. I became friends with her this year. I went up to her because I saw her tremor, and it was bad when she was first in David's public classes, And I thought, gosh, she must be nervous. And I talked to her, and of course, the joke's on me because Mary's the strongest person in the room.
Right.
Like, she's not that nervous. I mean, she was, but anyway, she's a beautiful story.
I was on medication for depression, and I have to say that when I started doing yoga like every weekend, there was times where I'd forget to take my medication because I felt so good.
Right.
And that's like, if anything, like if it hurts your body, that's huge. That's like helping you with depression. I forgot, and then if I didn't do yoga for a few weeks and I forget to take my medication one day, I'd be a complete mess. You know what I mean? It's like crazy. So it's like, I think it's...
And that's what inspired you to keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Here.
It's like like, it's crazy. It's like taking a pill. You know what I mean? It's not, you know.
I just want to say for the camera, South Boston Yoga does not endorse stopping your medication. But yes, yoga does help a lot. For sure. Let's go to Rachel.
I was also really glad that this article came out, and I read it, and I thought, a lot of people sent it to me, a lot of friends and family were like, hey, have you read this? And I'm like, awesome. Like, I was really glad he was that honest, and he feels that way. People shouldn't be, a lot of people should, not of the pose, but of the ego that they can still feel like they won because they let go. And I feel like that needs to be fostered because it's amazing in any form of exercise, including yoga, and it's amazing in life, and it's the biggest thing we can take away. So
I think I'm glad that we got that on tape so that you can write it down, because that would be a phenomenal start to a yoga class. To tell them that they're going to gain so much more if they do actually let go and rest when they need to rest, and recognize that their pose is not going to be their neighbor's pose or the teacher's pose, but as long as they have this awareness within their body. Jill Miller said this, I really appreciate what Jill said. She said that some of these people, they don't have the sense that they're going to get hurt. They don't. They just don't have enough body awareness, enough proprioception yet to have a sense that when they're in a pose like shoulder stand, that there's a possibility of harm. They don't know yet. So to be able to articulate that at the beginning of the class and really guide them through a safe, profound practice, that could be a gift.
Just in response to Dina, I have bad shoulder with recommendations for surgery, but I decided not to do it because there is a rotator cuff protocol that physical therapists and occupational therapists go through, which is strengthening all the areas around it. So it's really good to do that, which is what I'm doing. So if you're interested in the protocol, I can give you the protocol. Yes. And then, second of all, I think that this also helps people take responsibility for themselves and not divine a teacher or a pose. It's really owning your body and owning a progress that is different from other people and not really looking around. I mean, I wrote a bio, I'm not a 20 or 30 something, you know, I'll never be. And I appreciate that. So,
So if you can bring that protocol
Yeah,
to the class for our next meeting, I'd
Yes.
love to have everybody walk through it and
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
look at it.
that's what I'm doing next.
Right? The more we can add, I know it sounds weird, but the more we can add these basic physical therapies, stabilization, and range of motion exercises, the better our students are.